And our next eminent speaker for this session, Sri Sonmoni Bora, an Indian administrative officer with wide experience in the Commissioner Chhattisgarh Housing Board. He has served as collector and district magistrate in 6 districts in Chhattisgarh, including Raipur and Bilaspur, a registrar of Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur, and Chhattisgarh Institute of Medical Science, Medical College and Hospital, Bilaspur. With those words of introduction, I invite Mr. Sonmoni Bora, IAS, to kindly speak on the topic of opportunities. Please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Bora.
Very good afternoon. I know this is quite heavy a session after lunch, and I think many of the things I'm going to speak is a repetition. You know the issues and challenges and opportunities. So many of the things were already discussed in the morning session, but you'll have to bear with me because I was a bit prepared for affordable housing in Chhattisgarh and the housing scenario in India. So I'll just quickly pass through these slides. And at the outset, I must thank EPC World and especially Tejasri ji and Meenakshi ji for inviting me. I think there is a need for better interaction with government official at such workshop or seminar. So I think I'm the single out at present here over here. But for me, it was very refreshing and getting to know a lot of things, especially Mr. Jha. So I got a lot of feedback, and I think that will be my takeout. So don't look at me like an expert. So I'm just presenting some of the things we are doing in Chhattisgarh. And in housing, for last 2 years, I'm looking after housing, apart from some other assignments. So I'll quickly go through. It's a snapshot, like we all know that 120 crores of population today, urban population is about 30%. And urbanization growth, if you go by the census data, it is 2.4%. But it is expected that in next decade, it will grow by 4.3%. So there is a logical conclusion that by 2020, you will have almost 35% of the population living in urban areas. Then if you calculate in, again, it is expected that from 2020 to 2030, the decadal growth for urbanization will be 6.3%. So thus making a urban population by 2030 almost 40%. So that means, again, it's an inference by that time population, if it increases at the rate of 1%, so that means we'll reach at a population of 150 crores. So thus by 2030, again going back to Mr. Jha, because it's a futuristic calculation, around 60 crores of people will be living in urban India. McKinsey, so there was a report that it's very quite interesting. I'm just telling you the two trends. One is like to add 230 million people, urban population, by 2008, it took 40 years, whereas the next urbanization is going to be very rapid. So in 20 years time, we'll be adding around 250 million. So to accommodate, again very logically speaking, to accommodate this 25 crores additional urban population, so the real estate industry has to construct 25 lakh houses or flats or units per year for next 20 years. But if you also see the technical group constituted by Ministry of Urban Housing, HUPA, so there was already a backlog of 2.6 crores, 65 crores houses. So that simply means that we need to construct around 5 crores of houses for to meet the demand for next 20 years. So challenges, of course, affordability. We always talk about affordability, and this is a key issue. But we all know that for different income groups, the affordability means differently. And for a economically weaker section person, so his affordability will be different from a person with a high income group, and even high income group also different categories. So I'm talking about in terms of not luxury, just housing, house or residence as a basic need. Of course, the challenges are many, pressure on agriculture and forest land. There are a lot of reports how much land exactly you require to build up so many houses in next 10 years or 20 years, and what will be the pressure on forest land or agriculture, and there is a subsequent pressure on the production, because our food is coming from agricultural land. So if so they all can be calculated, but there is the huge challenge of investment to build up so many houses with a focus of economically weaker section and lower income group. So you need a lot of investment. So how this is going to come? But of course, at the same time, you have an opportunity for the construction industry, because it will definitely boost up the construction industry, real estate industry. So I'll definitely take through Chhattisgarh as well. So those who haven't visited Chhattisgarh and Raipur, so from here I can welcome you. Please do come, because now it's a it was constituted in 2000, but last 13 years we have a very beautiful journey, and today we have a new capital called Naya Raipur, and already our secretariat and ministry building have been shifted over there. Chhattisgarh Housing Board is also constructing housing colonies in Naya Raipur. Apart from now, some private partners have also come over here. So just to give an idea, so it is not a very small state. If you go by statistics, it is bigger than Tamil Nadu. But the population wise, if you go, so of course we have around 2.5 crores of population today. But if you go by contribution to the economic growth of India, so you will see that it's a huge, tremendous contribution made by Chhattisgarh today. So just to repeat, total literacy rate, you can see. Forest cover, we have 42% forest cover. So we are very rich in that. But I just want you to look at our per capita energy consumption today. When the national average is 780 roughly, we have per capita consumption is above 1500, almost at par with Gujarat today. GDP growth, you can see how the state is progressing today. Like somebody in the morning session, there was agriculture growth also 1.8 today for India, but whereas Chhattisgarh is among top 3 states today, having more than 6% agriculture growth. Housing scenario, so I'm because this is nothing actually concerning you, I'm just quickly passing through. So this is again a challenge for us. Just quickly to give an idea about Chhattisgarh Housing Board. It came into existence in 2004. We have all priorities in allotment, unlike any other private partner. This is our commitment. We just don't build houses, but we are very responsible for water conservation, eco-friendly fisheries, and promoting renewable energy today, creating disabled friendly, this is our commitment, senior citizen friendly fisheries in our colonies. You can see a kind of comparison. This is the liability free housing board, one of the top housing boards today I can claim, having their own resources, own land bank, and we are thoroughly professional today. Our administrative cost is very as low as, it is now 3.72. We have built so far more than 54,000 houses, but our primary focus is economically weaker section and lower income group. Almost 85% houses are built for them. our annual budget is roughly 1,000 crores, and this year we are going to cross, because last year we started a new scheme making 1 lakh houses. That is a 12,000 crores project. So we are hopeful that this year substantively will the budget and expenditure will go up. We have various schemes, just but I want to show you some of the pictures, like all these facilities we provide in our housing board colonies. These are the facilities we have created through PPP, public-private partnership. These are some of the houses. So now most of the colonies we are having underground cable system, underground sewerage system. So all these modern technologies are being used. Also, we are switching over to new technologies like prefab technology, monolithic construction technology, because this labor market is now very fluctuating, and there is a huge problem getting labor, and that is to skilled labor. So we are now switching over to new technologies. So some of the colonies, I want to show you one snap. This is a new Raipur layout. You can see there are 40 sectors where 23 sectors will be earmarked for residential purpose. But I am not going to speak on New Raipur, but of course I want to show you 2-3 pictures of the colonies we are constructing over there. So we have all sector is divided into 4 segments. We have a walking track as well. So a lot of facilities we are providing over there. So this is a aerial view of one of the sectors in New Raipur. Each sector consists of 150 acres of land, almost 3,000 houses. This is another colony. So this is one of the layouts of one of the colonies in New Raipur. So challenges, I think we all already know, the land acquisition has become a real issue today. Even for housing board, despite being the fact that we are a government agency, still even getting a land for us has become a real issue today. And because it's no longer available, it's a very precious commodity now. And like in the morning we talk about even sarpans also, even sarpans, even the villagers, they are not going to give even government land for housing construction. So it's a real challenge. So we are also tackling with this, like the private businessman is doing. What we do, like some of our profits, we are directly investing in land procurement today, so that what we are going to construct in another 10-20 years from now, so that land has to be acquired today. So we are having hand-in-hand kind of policy where we are hugely investing in land today. So we are also procuring directly from farmers, and but we are also looking at the RR policy, because being a government agency, or if the issue of morality also comes in. So I think once the land is gone out of hand of anybody, it could be you or it could be me also. So I think the RR policy in a better way has to be implemented. The housing board is implementing RR policy as well today. Chhattisgarh being a pioneer state in industrialization, so today there is a huge rise in price of land, because the businessmen or the powerhouses coming to Chhattisgarh, so they are giving a huge price for the land. So now for housing projects we are having a problem, because they are saying they are giving this amount for land, and you are giving just this amount of land. So it is not possible now. So for us also, we are working out how to make it almost at par with the industry paying to the farmers. Last is the service tax. This is another problem with affordable housing today, because you all know that in 2010 the new act has come where the construction industry, including housing board and all, so they are within the parameter of this service tax ambit. Earlier, we used to reimburse to the contractor, but now, apart from reimbursing to the contractor, we are directly liable to give to this service tax department. So this is a double taxation. There's so many other issues involved in affordability issue. But service tax is at present is a crucial issue. The Government of India has exempted only 2-3 schemes under JNURM, but those schemes sponsored by state government with similar features, but they haven't exempted. So we have appealed to the Government of India that these schemes are also having same parameters, same features, but need to be exempted. We got a lot of awards also, including EPC Global Leadership Award last year. So I'll quickly now talk about the opportunities. I think one is, since affordability and scarcity of land and so many issues are now involved, I think this is the time to look at our master plan process. How to implement the master plans for different places, and how to make sure that the master plan takes care of the housing need of that particular area, apart from also keeping a provision for future expansion. So I think we need to look at afresh our master plans of different places, and land and fund both could be earmarked. That could be one good move, where 20 to 25% of land in the master plan itself, and local fund or government fund or any kind of arrangement can be made for housing needs. Also, we can look at the expansion of city limit, municipal limit or council limit, where today most of the times the city limits are increased on a political pressure or political aspect, keeping in view. But I think one of the key issues would be the habitat issue, that is the housing issue. So I think the expansion of city limit should also should be look into to cater to the needs of housing. Then of course we today already talk about the real estate regulation and development bill pre-launch session. So this is I think there are a lot of reactions on the draft bill. So but sooner is better, that one should take a step and at least implement this real estate bill. Chhattisgarh in 2007 itself, we have our own RR policy. All big houses, you name it, those working in Chhattisgarh today, so they are all following this. And not only this, even government, like for our irrigation projects also, so we have our own RR policy. So I think if you have a better RR policy, many of the problems, futuristic problems are taken care of. So this is another, I think, opportunity created by whole scenario. Could we also think of some special residential zones? So that could be another opportunity created by this huge demand of house. Like we have SEZ, so we can also have a special residential zones. But today, of course, we are talking about a lot of expansion of metros and rail lines, rail corridors, creating satellite towns along the road. So those things should come up, and I think this is an opportunity for all of us. And of course, incentive has to be given to the developers, builders, and all private partners, including agency like us, Housing Board. And different models are now working in state of Rajasthan. I think they have already adopted different models today. In Mumbai also they have adopted some models, but there has to be some synergy of all these convergence of these schemes. And at Government of India level, there has to be a unique policy which can benefit all stakeholders and partners. There was one scheme which was, emphasized by our ex-president, Sri Kalamji, that was Pura, providing urban facilities in rural areas. I think this is the time we should look into that also, because there beyond the point you cannot expand your city limit, or you cannot create so much assets within the city. Like you also talk about 3-tier or 2-tier. So this is the time that the Pura or similar like Pura things should come up in rural areas, which can take care of the housing need. And of course, many things are now happening, but we need better implementation and better scope to mold the whole process. Like Ray has already come. The new scheme is also coming up, rent to own, slum-free India, city planning. So many things are happening. So I think these are the opportunities created or thrown by the huge housing demand. And I'm hopeful that with all stakeholders working together, so most of the problems or challenges will be taken care of. And I once again thank you very much for listening patiently, especially after post-lunch session. Thank you.